Claims of a deal between The Sun and Starmer is conspiracy theory created for clicks, News UK insiders have said. We're going to read into this more from Byline Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Byline Times with the headline of the claim of a deal between The Sun and Sir Keir Starmer is conspiracy theory created for clicks, News UK insiders have said. No such deal was done with Starmer. It simply did not happen, one of a number of sources has told Byline Times. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. So, what Byline Times apparently have here is that there was no deals of any sort between Sir Keir Starmer and the Sun, i.e. Rupert Murdoch, how we say. Even with these sources, it's still very hard to believe that, because of the fact that there, as of right now, still doesn't appear to be any, at the time of this recording, there doesn't appear to be any indications that Leveson 2 is going to be, that the Leveson is going to be implemented to control the media, and it's out of control, the out of control media that we have right now in the UK. It doesn't appear to be any addressing of that. There was talks that there would be some things that they would look at, looking at strengthening Ofcom, I know that, but nothing to do with the tabloid press, shall we say, anything of sorts. So as long as nothing's going to be done there with Leveson, it's very hard for me to believe that there isn't some kind of tangible. I mean, literally, look at this. Like, he is at the Sun's, and this is not the first time he's been at. He's met with Rupert Murdoch. He got the endorsement of the Sun during general election campaign, so it is very hard to believe this. But it is obviously, if they're claiming there wasn't a deal, if the number of sources are telling Byline Times there wasn't a deal, a very good chance it's probably true. But that doesn't mean to say that there isn't been conversation, shall we say, between Murdoch and Keir Starmer. But I also think there's been some strings being pulled that we also don't know about. So let's read a little bit more into this, shall we? So, claims that the Prime Minister and the Sun struck a deal to suppress an alleged story about Keir Starmer's marriage and for Labour to receive the new paper's backing in July's general election have been dismissed as complete fantasy at the Murdoch title. Senior News UK sources have taken the unusual steps of briefing against the nakedly untrue allegations that a Starmer government in return would not pursue the second part of the Leveson inquiry into the culture, ethnics and practices of the British press, which was launched in the wake of the exposure of the phone hacking scandal in 2011. One source told Byline Times, "There's a feeling that because the Sun is always giving it, we should never respond when we take a few hits. But we are strong on this point. There is just no truth to it. It's a conspiracy theory for clicks and nothing more. There is no suggestion that the Sun ever had or believed it had any legitimate grounds to invade the Prime Minister's rights to his family and private life. The allegations was made on a vlog run by a former Sun employee, Dan Wootton." Oh, Dan Wootton. You guys remember Dan Wootton on this channel, don't you? We covered this guy and some of a lot of dirt around him. How is that man not behind bars? Questions. And repeatedly on X, formerly Twitter, by the newspaper's former editor Kevin Mackenzie, who became notoriously for falsely smearing the dead of the Hillsborough football stadium disaster on the front page of in 1989. Why has he not faced anything either? Yeah, interesting. It's disgraceful. Wootton's vlog posts about his X post related to it, as well as Mackenzie, have since been deleted. It is not known whether the pair came under pressure to do so by News UK and its lawyers. So the former Sun and Online Mail senior editor Wootton alleged in the vlog post that the Sun dropped an investigation into Starmer's marriage in the run-up to the July election. He claimed to have access to insider information, alleging that he had duped its readers by dropping an investigation into the Prime Minister's personal life after editor Victoria Newson, who Wootton described as a Starmer fangirl, cut an astonishing deal which saw it inexplicably back Labour and left executives torn for many weeks. Because of who this is, you can't buy it. You can't buy it from Dan Wootton. You just can't. The arrangement, Wootton alleged, saw News UK accept a cast iron guarantee that Labour government would not launch the second part of the Leveson inquiry, which was extended to examine the relationship between journalists and the police, which would have likely addressed allegations that several prominent witnesses gave wrong evidence to Leveson 1. Wootton left his role as a presenter on GB News last year following an on-air misogyny scandal involving actor-turned-activist Lawrence Fox. It came after a 3-year investigation by Byline Times unmasked him as the prolific catfish and sexual blackmailer Martin Brennan. Yes, and the police have done nothing about it since. Or they're sitting on it, or they are still investigating. One of those. According to the source, Wootton is embittered former employee who is trying to be a nuisance and trying to make money by running a conspiracy blog, and that is the right thing to step in and call this out as utter crap from Wootton. Another senior source at News UK told Byline Times that Wootton's claims are nakedly untrue, and that he has no insight into the activity and decisions at this newspaper. No one here, certainly none of the executives who would know about such matters, likes him or wants to talk to him, they added. Another source at the newspaper said of the supported arrangement that no such deal was done with Starmer. It simply did not happen. It is a complete fantasy. The endorsement of Wootton's claims by Mackenzie, who has been repeatedly critical of the newspaper's current management, generated many dozens of replies alleging a conspiracy of blackmail by the title. An investigation by this newspaper last month revealed that Victoria Newton had overseen the suppression of major public interest stories about household names in return for favours. Another source suggests to Byline Times that the bad blood rooted in Wootton's 2021 departure from The Sun, of which he was seen as a potential future editor, was behind his claims of the Starmer conspiracy. Wootton has always blamed Victoria Newton for his departure from The Sun, they said. Most of us here see it as a typical ham-fisted revenge attempt from a man who spent a lot of his time when he was working here, bullying his colleagues and trying to catfish them. Dan Wootton is despised at The Sun for what he did to people. He has vendettas against anyone who stood up to him. It's very much personal. Wootton claims that the deal also infuriated veteran journalists who have never forgotten that Starmer had pursued phone hacking allegations when he was the DPP between 2008 and 2013. Well, you guys did it. You guys did it. So, yeah, the Sun needs to be brought down. They are dangerous. But a third source, allegedly, poured scorn on the suggestion that a deal would ever have been possible. The insider said it's fanciful thinking. Sir Keir Starmer is more than just an experienced lawyer. He was the director of public prosecutions at DDP. There is hardly anyone less likely that wants to do a backroom deal with a tabloid on a matter of privacy. Last year, Byline Times revealed how Wootton, who had been the subject of widespread bullying and sexual harassment claims from the Sun colleagues, but was promoted by the newspaper as complainants were silenced with large payoffs and non-disclosure agreements. He has been axed by Newton in early 2001. The Sun gave what he has seen as half-hearted backing to Labour on the morning of the 4th of July general election. That was an obvious betrayal of the publication's anti-woke working-class relationship, Wootton claimed on his vlog. What I can't stand at the most is the corrupt and captured mainstream media, talking their readers and viewers for fools by consistently concealing information for political reasons, he wrote. With the mainstream media that is controlled by billionaires and shady interests, they will never put you first. He's understood that the Prime Minister's office has strongly denied any claim of the alleged deal. News UK and Dan Wootton did not respond to a request for comment. Of course, they're not going to respond to a request for comment, but they've got to put it out there anyway, Byline Times. This was written by Tom Latchman and Dan Evans of Byline Times as well, just for reference as well. So, this story, this one in particular, I'm going to go on a limb and say, if it was made by Dan Wootton, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably BS. I'm fairly confident it's BS if it's by him. Am I going to go out on a limb and say that there isn't something between the Sun, the Murdoch, and Keir Starmer? Of course, there's something there. There's definitely something there. Obviously, it's nothing. I don't have any evidence for it, but you just doesn't add up that the Sun would back Labour like this, you know. And he had been meeting with Murdoch on several occasions as well. You can't tell me that there's not something there. There has to be something there. But as for this claims of a deal, like, I would not surprise me if there was a deal, but the fact that that Dan Wootton is the one who's making it out, like, I'm not going to buy it from him. I'm not going to buy it from him, and no one should buy anything from that man. That man is a terrible person, and you shouldn't take anything from him seriously. But there is definitely something there between Murdoch's and Keir Starmer. There is definitely something there because history has told us that. But what do you guys think? What do you guys make of this conspiracy theory, or that the claims of a deal between Keir Starmer and the Sun? Do you think there's actually something there that Dan Wootton has said? What do you guys honestly think about this story? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you could do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.